She's so rotten, she wants migrants picking cotton. We present to you Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, who made this shocking argument why America needs immigrants. Roll it, Alfred.
So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands.
This is when the wheels fall off.
You're not.
Jasmine Crockett stepped into the spotlight thinking her attitude and eyeliner would command the room, but Gutfeld and Megyn Kelly fired back like a wrecking crew with sharp jokes, hard truths, and zero patience. Gutfeld roasted her so hard it felt like alarms should have gone off, while Megyn ripped apart her shaky logic like a clumsy courtroom act. In the end, Jasmine brought sass to a chess match and got checkmated on live TV.
It's just, that's what she does. She puts out this video of her acting in a certain way, and that's how she fundraises.
We actually did a bit of a deep dive on her after my old colleague from Fox News, Todd Starnes, posted something on X not long ago, Walter. He posted the following: Jasmine Crockett wants you to think she's from the hood, that she grew up on the streets. The exact opposite is true. She attended an exclusive day school where tuition is nearly $35,000 a year. She also attended Rhodes College, a private school where tuition is nearly $55,000 a year. She's cosplaying a gangsta. So we looked up her background. She was born in St. Louis. She's 43. Her dad was a Baptist pastor and a teacher. Her mother worked in a post office. She graduated from Mary Institute and St. Louis Country Day School, one of the most expensive private schools in the city. Indeed, the current tuition, $35,000 a year.
She also studied at Rhodes College, a private school with tuition nearing $55,000 a year, while parading a persona that feels more like a stage act than serious politics. Her roots trace back to St. Louis, now 43, with a father who was a Baptist pastor and teacher, and a mother who worked at the post office. She later finished at Mary Institute and St. Louis Country Day School, one of the city's priciest private schools with tuition around $35,000 a year. Jasmine Crockett entered politics as if she had strolled straight out of a Bravo reality show, confusing C-SPAN with a stage where sass substitutes for substance. If TikTok rants and Twitter clapbacks were qualifications, she'd already be Speaker of the House, Majority Leader, and proudly claiming the title of Secretary of Sass. But the truth is, politics demands more than dramatic poses and a polished side-eye.
Jasmine Crockett's got another hot take. No blacks and whites on a wedding cake. The Democrats' new chosen one, Jasmine Crockett, is in the news again for an old clip where she attacked Florida Rep. Byron Donalds for marrying a white woman. Roll it, Bertha.
The fact that you sitting around talking about life was better under Jim Crow, is this because you don't understand history, or literally it's because you married a white woman and so you think that whitewashed you?
That's not very woke, is it?
Enter Gutfeld and Megyn Kelly, two media powerhouses who don't need filters, soft lighting, or flashy emojis to leave an impact. They weren't there for small talk. They came to roast, and not with cozy campfire jokes, but with the ferocity of a televised demolition. It felt like Jasmine Crockett had wandered into a high-stakes Shark Tank pitch while dressed like a contestant from RuPaul's Drag Race. Filibuster edition, completely unready for the battleground she stepped on too. This wasn't a debate with polite podium pleasantries or scripted thank yous. It was an all-out verbal demolition derby, and Jasmine arrived pedaling a tricycle straight into a roaring monster truck rally.
Speaking of leftist hypocrisy and cluelessness, Jasmine Crockett is a rising star amongst the far-left progressives in this country. She's a representative from Houston, Texas, of all places, which makes no sense because she seems to be far too left for Houston, but apparently not, because they elected her. It must be like, Orange County in California being like the one outlier in an otherwise uniformly covered, state, like all red with the one blue, all blue with the one red. Okay, so Jasmine Crockett got up at a Los Angeles dinner this past Saturday, and it was hosted by, this is perfect, the Human Rights Campaign.
Let's be honest, Greg Gutfeld came in with the energy of a sharp-tongued raccoon who'd memorized every clause of the Constitution and wielded sarcasm like a precision blade. Meanwhile, Megyn Kelly stepped in with the authority of a principal halting a cafeteria food fight, steady yet commanding. And there was Jasmine, flinging verbal mashed potatoes without realizing the entire cafeteria showdown was being captured in flawless 4K for the world to replay endlessly.
That was 3 years ago. The ones of her just sounding like a normal person talking. 3 years, it's not like that was 20 years, but then she moved to Mississippi for all that time. That was 3 years ago. She sounded like a totally normal person. It's only now she's got her accent and she's going to kick everybody's ass. It's such an affectation.
Crockett's entire political image thrives on aesthetic outrage, the congressional version of tossing glitter over an empty briefcase. It's loud, it's flashy, it steals attention, but once the sparkle fades, all that remains is a hollow nothing burger served with an oversized side of sass. What she offered wasn't genuine legislative debate, it was pure cosplay, a performance stuck somewhere between I'm reclaiming my time and can I finish my sentence? Along the way, she seemed to forget that real governing requires more than dramatic pauses and camera-perfect stares crafted for viral clips.
Is she making any point there?
Like this makes me wish my mom made different father choices.
Greg never needed to raise his voice, just a few dry, razor-edged remarks, and Crockett's entire argument crumbled like a bargain rack suit from a desperate campaign donor. He dismissed her talking points the way a cashier dismisses expired coupons. Worthless, irrelevant, and not worth redeeming in any serious debate. Each time Jasmine puffed up for what she clearly thought was a mic drop moment, Greg barely blinked, so unimpressed he could have solved a crossword mid-rant and still roasted her before she finished. Then came Megyn Kelly, whose very presence makes people sit straighter without her even trying. While Jasmine acted like she was auditioning for a congressional remake of Mean Girls, Megyn arrived armed with facts, dates, receipts, and the uncanny ability to eviscerate without raising her tone. Watching her dismantle Jasmine's act was like seeing an IRS auditor with a vendetta, precise, merciless, and oddly satisfying. And since this wasn't a debate with rules, Megyn had free rein to carve into Crockett's record like a frog in biology class. The twist: there wasn't much to dissect. Jasmine's so-called impact on governance looked more like a failed group project where her only job was adding emojis to the PowerPoint and then bragging she carried the team.
So this is funny. Jasmine Crockett sits on the Judiciary Committee, and about a month ago, Walter, I testified.
Yes,
before the
we saw
Judiciary
this.
Committee. Yeah, and the hearings, the full committee hearings, are quite long. You can be there for over 4 hours. So, and they let the most junior members ask questions last. So I had to sit for quite a long time. And then at the very end, Jasmine Crockett, who I had never heard before, suddenly started screaming at me and Michael Schellenberger. And when you're a witness in Congress, you have to pay attention to what everybody says, because you never know when you're going to be asked an actual question and allowed to, maybe even allowed to speak. But I could not understand what she was saying. She was moving from one thing to another, and she was doing all that code switching stuff with the y'alls and y'all eyeing on this and everything.
Gutfeld sliced straight into the uncomfortable truth. Crockett isn't about policy, she's about performances. Her whole image is built on the illusion of resistance, complete with finger snaps, dramatic eye rolls, and Instagram captions that play far better online than inside Congress. It's not that she lacks brains, it's that she thrives on intellectual dishonesty, especially when the cameras are on and the hashtags are waiting. What she really needs isn't another stage debate, but a PR handler, and maybe a mentor to remind her that Capitol Hill is not an improv club with a dress code. The most brutal moment came when Jasmine tried to deliver a soundbite about fighting for the people, and Gutfeld didn't even bother with words. Just a smirk and a pause, and the silence exposed her hollowness like a spotlight hitting a mime with no act. Megyn, meanwhile, stayed icy, her composure the kind only earned by someone who's endured 5 presidential races and more media storms than a real housewife going through her 6th divorce. Crockett's fans may call her bold, but so is someone shouting at a drive-through speaker. Volume doesn't equal virtue, and loud never means right. While Jasmine turned every stage into a tantrum designed for memes, Greg and Megyn delivered a surgical takedown so precise it could serve as a masterclass titled How Not to Humiliate Yourself in Public While Pretending to Sound Smart.
This woman, I've had about enough of her. She wants to be like a member of the squad. She thinks of herself like an AOC. She talks like, she's from the hood. Meanwhile, she grew up in a nice family. She didn't talk like this 3 years ago. 3 years ago, she sounded like you and I sound in this conversation. Like, I'm really excited to be going to Congress. I can't wait to get started on my new job. And now she's like, we need to smack him in the head.
We know that we work for the American people. And what we not gonna do is stand around while they pull this that they trying to pull right now.
Like, what? What do you, we have videotape. Why are you talking like that? No one believes this bullshit. And now she's graduated to acting like a thug. So congratulations. Your term in the U.S. Congress is going really well.
That was a great impression.
She flung out empty buzzwords like confetti at a New Year's Eve bash, praying something might stick. But this wasn't Times Square. It was a political roast. And Crockett was the turkey served up on the platter. Her defense strategy boiled down to rolling her eyes so hard it looked like she risked spraining an optic nerve, while Megyn coolly countered with bills, voting records, and a heavy dose of reality Jasmine clearly hadn't touched since her last trending tweet. It wasn't even close. Crockett arrived with vibes, while Gutfeld and Kelly came armed with footnotes. The contrast was almost poetic. Jasmine envisions herself delivering sermons from Mount Olympus, yet in truth she operates on little more than Twitter thread energy. After such a scorching takedown, you'd think she might pause, reassess, maybe even crack open a civics textbook, or imagine read an actual bill, but instead she doubled down like someone trying to play Uno cards in a courtroom. Reverse, skip, draw 4. It all blew up spectacularly, because this time Greg and Megyn weren't playing games. They were serving reality checks, and Jasmine's bounced harder than her campaign promises at a press conference.
Do you share your boxcar with people of color?
I do.
Yeah.
My boxcar does not know race, does not know gender. It is a welcome space
That is so
where only
beautiful.
deodorant is not welcome. I like this Jasmine Crockett lady, right?
It's a great name, isn't it, for a villain?
Yeah.
And Crockett is the whitest last name you could ever have.
Yeah.
I want to throw that out there.
Sonny Crockett, Miami Vice.
Yes?
It's like the whole thing is like, because I've seen her, she's very well spoken, and then she gets on certain programs and lets it. So maybe this whole thing is like a Netflix documentary, like a new spin on Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde.
And the truth is, none of this was personal. Gutfeld and Kelly weren't mocking her looks. They were dismantling the hollow influencer-style activism that turns hearings into clickbait spectacles. 29 times, Jasmine Crockett eyeballed her way to justice. If she poured even half the energy into legislation that she spends perfecting camera angles, she might manage to pass something more meaningful than a glorified tweet in committee form. Results matter. That's the core of politics. And Gutfeld, with his signature dry annihilation, revealed the obvious. Jasmine's resume reads like someone Googled how to sound woke in 3 steps and quit after step 1. No landmark bills, no defining initiatives, just plenty of noise smothered in self-importance. Crockett treats change as a retweet from a blue-check influencer under ring light glam, while Megyn Kelly cut through the charade with the force of a chainsaw slicing butter. Strip it all away, and Crockett's career isn't about public service. It's about polishing the brand of Jasmine Crockett. That's not leadership. That's a PR campaign dressed up as politics, dripping with delusions of grandeur.
But she is going to be the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
You are going to be so glad she
Keep
popped
her
up
around.
on the scene.
That's going to make up for the White House Correspondents' Dinner. She's going to we're going to get a segment a day from her.
Ever watch someone dodge accountability by turning it into a TED Talk about their emotions? That's Jasmine in a nutshell. I feel attacked isn't a policy, and I feel disrespected doesn't doesn't build infrastructure, but it racks up likes, shares, and endless outrage to keep the cameras rolling, which seems to be her only goal. Greg Gutfeld nailed it, comparing her politics to microwaving a frozen dinner and calling it homemade. Lots of noise, no taste, and ultimately disappointing. She assembles platitudes like IKEA furniture, fast, flimsy, and destined to collapse under the slightest pressure. Her entire strategy runs on volume, not substance. When stuck, she shouts. When cornered, she flails. When proven wrong, she blames the air for conspiring against her. Yet somehow she envisions herself as Rosa Parks with a ring light. Spoiler, Rosa Parks didn't stream her activism in portrait mode. Megyn didn't even need to strike hard to expose the emptiness. She simply pointed, and Jasmine's talking points evaporated faster than campaign promises the morning after an election. It was almost poetic, a walking contradiction, demanding justice without doing the homework, crying oppression while flashing a press badge, and flaunting ignorance as if it were a designer accessory.
Like, this is, if you're gonna talk about black history, at least know it. This is, at least know it, okay? But it goes back to, that was 45 seconds of some of the, like, Kamala, you good right now. That was some of the dumbest I ever heard in my life. Here's the thing. This goes back to what we talked about earlier. They never have a solution. Just listen to your dumbass talk. You want to talk about agriculture? Why don't you fix the lottery? Why don't you make it easier for people who want to come into this country to work in agriculture and equitation?
Crockett's trademark weapon in politics isn't policy or persuasion, it's the stare. That same glare she unleashes whenever she runs out of arguments but still wants people to believe she's holding hidden wisdom, like a magic 8 ball filled with nothing but attitude. The problem? Greg and Megyn weren't fooled. They've seen that trick too often. It's not strength, it's a stall tactic dressed up as defiance. The roasting was so thorough it didn't even need rebuttals. Her silence wasn't golden, it was forced, the kind of crash where spin runs out mid-sentence and the applause never arrives. And let's be real, this wasn't a bad day for Jasmine Crockett. It was the day, a live showcase of her entire congressional career, which so far has been a masterclass in being loud and wrong. She doesn't come to contribute, she struts in like Congress's amateur night at a slam poetry bar, convinced it's her personal stage. But in reality, where results matter more than TikTok theatrics, Gutfeld and Kelly's takedown felt like a reset, the long overdue moment someone finally said, can we stop pretending vibes equal vision? Because Crockett isn't representing constituents, she's farming followers. You'd think after being turned into a meme by 2 of the sharpest commentators alive, she'd step back, rethink, maybe trade sass for substance. But no, she'll likely triple down with a statement typed in emojis, filmed from the back seat of a Tesla while sipping Starbucks and misquoting Malcolm X. The wreckage was undeniable. Gutfeld, with his trademark board precision, peeled Crockett like a banana and proved once again, if your only strategy is performative outrage, you're not a politician, you're a YouTube reaction channel in a blazer. And Megyn, she didn't just dismantle Crockett's claims, she audited her entire political soul, the kind of takedown so sharp it felt like watching someone roasted in Latin, yet still understanding every brutal word. This was savage brilliance. More mind than muscle. Crockett wasn't prepared for a mental chess match. She showed up ready for a slap fight. And the final punchline? She still believes she won, as if staggering out of a verbal bloodbath counts as victory, like a Survivor contestant finishing last, but insisting they played the best social game. No, Jasmine, you didn't play. You got played.